build one of those router lift units for quite some time now, and I finally got around to building one. And then of course when you build that, you might as well build a router table too. So I built this simple little router table, and I'll move the camera around a little bit where you can get a better idea of how it was built. I looked around on a lot of the different YouTube videos. There's lots of people on there that have built different router lifts, but I wanted to, a lot of the designs I liked, and mine's very similar to those, but one thing I wanted to definitely do was be able to raise and lower it from above right here. So I'm going to flip this over in a minute to show more detail of how the router lift was made, but just to tell you, I've got you can see it here, I've got a 1/2 inch 13 threaded rod going down the lift, and I've just got a hex nut put on there with a pin through it to lock it in, so that I can easily just use my ratchet wrench to raise or lower it. The other thing I wanted to make sure I did was build a nice sled, and I like to use those little T-slot bars that you can get from Rockler and in different places. I did make the fence here where it's adjustable. You'll notice that I haven't got around to putting any dust collection on it yet. I'm still trying to figure out exactly how I want to do that. But I've got the opening here for the dust collection, and of course if I want to route something where I need to pull this up flush, I can also put a piece of scrap in here and to not get any tear out. But I made this adjustable. I actually used my CNC machine to mill some of these pockets and slots and the different pieces. Let me move the camera again, and I'll show you the back side of this thing so you can see how it looks. Okay, here's a view from the back side, and you can see, like I said, I used my CNC router to mill out these slots here, and I just put these bolts that I got from Rockler in here with these nice little handles to make it easy to adjust. I've still got to work on the dust collection. I haven't quite figured out how I'm going to put that as far as what size and all, but that will be easy enough to do. And then I've also used some more of the Rockler things here where I can use a little T-slots, and I can slide this back and forth easily. Made these little gussets on my CNC router as well. So let me pull this over and flip this over where we can get a better idea of how I did the router lift. Let's pull this off here. Another thing that I was very picky about is I definitely wanted to be able not only to adjust the height of the router from up above, but I also want to be able to change the bit out without having to stick up under the table and to loosen the collet. I want to be able to do that here. So as I raise this up, you'll see that it comes way up, so I have no problem adjusting that. And I can actually, you can see it start to press on the little insert now, pop it out, so I can pop this insert out, and you can see very easily to change the router bit. So I'm just one where I try to make it as convenient as possible. I definitely wanted it way up like it does, and it just makes it so much easier to change where you don't have to get down underneath the thing or something like that. So it works out really well. I'm very happy with how that turned out. And my little insert also fits very nice and snug. So now that I've got that bit out of there, let me turn this thing over so you can see how this thing was made. Okay, you can see the design of this thing is very similar to a lot of other people's. What I did is I just, again, used my CNC machine to make a little piece here with a slot in it. And then I've got another piece here that goes in the slot. And then I've got these little pieces here that are actually bolted through here. And they've got little oval slots, so if this thing ever loosens up, I can just loosen these up and push this on to make sure I'm not getting any slop there. Again, the half 13 threaded rod goes through here. What this is here, you can't really see it good because the way it's hidden back here, but what I did is I took two pieces of wood and used my CNC machine to mill out a hex shape, and then I put the hex nut in there and glued those two pieces together, and then glued them onto the back here to form my nut there to make the thing go up and down. So it works really well. Right here, I also wanted to be able to remove the router. Although I do have two or three of them, sometimes I might want to use this one to do some hand routing or something. So I did make this where this pulls off. Again, this is just three pieces glued together that I made on the CNC machine, and use these hanging threads. Those are wood threads going in here, and then it's got the 1/4-20s here where I just put this wing nut on here. So that's pretty much how this works. Like I said, I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. It seems to be working really well. And I've still got a few things I've got to do. I've got to finish up the rest of the table. I've got the material to... Hello. Okay, so again, what I used here was just some wood threads, threaded rod, and then I just used some plastic wing nuts here to hold this on. All these parts here, well, just pretty much everything on here I cut on my CNC router. These pieces worked out really well. I'll probably turn the camera here in a minute so you can see one of those. But that's an oak piece, and it's got a slot running horizontal here, so I can keep that snug up against here and get a good solid fit there. One thing I do, as I mentioned, I cut a lot of these parts on my CNC router, and pretty much because of that, everything I do, I draw plans up. So these are the plans. You can see where I've modeled everything up to make sure I've got the right parts. And then of course I can save the DXF. There you can see the side pieces here, how they've got that slot for this to get glued up in. And even the table itself, as simple as it was, I modeled it all up and didn't cut it on my CNC, but was, I like coming out here with a good plan and good drawings, and I know exactly what I'm doing, and it makes the project go a little easier. The table frame itself, let me move this camera back a little bit if you can see it, is nothing more than just 2x4s, bought at Lowe's. Used some mortise and tenon joinery. It's all glued up, no screws in it, just glued up. So it's good and solid. I've got the material here. I've still got to enclose it and make a cabinet out of it where I can store my router bits and different things, the collet wrenches and things like that. So I hope to get around to doing that here pretty soon. And still got to figure out my dust collection, and I've also got to figure out an on switch. I bought this switch the other day at one of those wood shows, but I've still got to get my cabinet enclosed and figure out where I'm going to locate that. And of course I've got two things, one for the router and one for the shop vac. So as soon as I get all that figured out, I'll maybe shoot another video showing the completed unit and showing it in action. But anyway, if anybody's if anybody's interested in the plans for that, I'll probably have the plans for everything on the website here very soon. And if anybody wants it, just let me know, or any comments. I'd love to hear any comments, criticisms, or whatever. Maybe something I could do better next time. But anyway, appreciate you watching, and we'll talk at you later.